morning, good afternoon, good evening. Hello there, my friends. This is Kevin Lopez, back from Personal Tutors, bringing to you a chapter from 6th standard book, that is a Pact with the Sun. Well, if you want to know about some more chapters, here's the information button. Just click on it. You'll be sent directly to the playlist that contains the other chapters and explanations of the very book. The topic today that we are going to cover is a chapter that's named The Old Clock Shop. It's a story about a person who has a clock shop in a place called Salt Lake City in the United States of America. It was a Christmas Eve. My friend, Christmas Eve is basically the night before the Christmas day. Since it's snowy, it's windy, cold, and Christmas Eve, everybody had closed the shop and hurried to go to their homes to celebrate the Eve. There was this one shop opened with lights on and a man working inside. His name was Ray. Incidentally, this person, Ray, is a deaf by birth. That means he couldn't hear anything. He was working on a watch that he had sold the very day. Now let me explain you something about Ray. Ray was a person who, although did not run a pawn shop is somewhere where you can loan your valuables and get cash against them. What Ray used to do was, he used to help others by giving them loans and taking their stuff, keeping it at the very shop, and when people returned him back the amount, Ray would not accept any interest but the actual amount and would return the things back to them. Although Ray was not a rich person, but he went out of the way and helped people in a matter by more what he could actually give. This shows the generosity of Ray to us, my friends. Now this Christmas Eve, as he was working, suddenly a strong, cold gust of wind took his mind as he felt the shop doors open. There were two men standing at the door. They did not look like visitors. They did not look like customers, because the grin and the wickedness in their eyes tried to reveal something else that was pretty bad, and Ray immediately got the sense of it. These were two men. The elder one walked towards Ray with a grin in his eyes. The other one, that is the young man, stood in the doorway, at the door, in order to keep a guard. Ray understood that this wasn't a simple visit. It was perhaps a burglary attempt or something, someone trying to loot him. Immediately, Ray observed the person who was approaching him. He gave him a notepad and a pen and explained him by placing his hands towards the ears and moving his head in a to and fro position by saying that he couldn't hear anything, he's a deaf. The man immediately turned around to the young guy standing at the door, and while they were discussing something, although Ray could not understand it, but Ray observed him carrying perhaps a gun in his pocket and his other hand swindling in the other pocket. Ray immediately knew what was about to come. But although being angry and shouting at them, Ray tried to play it wisely. he went ahead and wrote on the notepad, "How may I help you?" The wicked man, the elder one, before trying to do anything or approach anything, Ray immediately took notice of his wristwatch and pointed towards a sign written "Loan" at the wall and the watch hanging down there. The wicked man asked him, "What can you offer me? How much is it worth?" Ray, although knowing that these two men were trying to commit a crime out of sheer weariness that they had in, and it was visible that they were not trained criminals, but it was their first time as well, and Ray did not want them to regret over what they had done. The wrongdoing that they were about to do, Ray had to stop it. Thus, Ray offered him $50, although both of them knew that the watch was not worth $50, it was much less. And the elder man actually changed his expressions from a grumpy wickedness to a smiley face. He thanked Ray and said that, "I'll come back to take the valuable, the belonging, the watch back, maybe after Christmas." This shows that the person was about to commit a crime, but it changed his mindset. Instead, he loaned his watch. The three of them stood looking at each other. The voice of the clocks in the shop was suddenly chimed by the bang, and the words struck Ray's mind, that is, "Peace on earth, goodwill towards all." So it was Christmas, my friends. And these beautiful words, these mean there should be peace all over the earth and goodwill towards every dweller, may it be creature, human, anyone. Bringing the chapter to an end. Let's have a few question answers. What made Ray think the visitor was not really a shopper? Well, the two visitors who entered the shop, out of which the first one stood at the door, the second one walked towards him. His gesture was quite brute. He had a wicked look, perhaps contained a gun as well. That made Ray realize that it was not really a shopper. Why do you think he had come to the shop? Well, the man was down on his luck. He had come to rob the Ray shop. How did Ray communicate with him? Ray communicated with him with a notepad and a pencil. What do you think the man said to his friend who waited at the door? Well, the elder man was quite surprised when he came to know that Ray was deaf. And thus he must have conveyed this message to the younger man standing at the door and discussed him that being a deaf, what should they do next? Ray was not a pawnbroker. Why then he did lend money to people in exchange for their old watches and clocks? Ray was not exactly a pawnbroker, but in the same way, he did not have a capability of saying no to the people in need. He always went ahead and beyond his ability helped people who were in need. Thus, he exchanged their old watches in a matter of loan. The watch was nothing special and yet had great powers. In what sense did it have great powers? The watch had a great power of bringing out someone of a bad situation. It went ahead and stopped the people from hurting Ray or robbing his shop. It also gave them a chance not to get indulged into certain bad activity for which later they may be sorry. do you think the man would ever come back to pick up the watch? Well, yes. This is a speculative reply, but yes, the man gave a smile, thanked Ray, and would definitely come back, because he said so that I would be coming back after Christmas very soon. Thus, the reply gives us a notion that the man had met his purpose, got some amount, and would definitely come back and thank Ray. To the right here, my friends, is a link that would provide you the access to the playlists and other chapters. Keep on giving your suggestions in the comment box. Subscribe to our channel for more. This is Kevin thanking you today.